Happy Wednesday. What's up? There we go. What's up? I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. I'm excited to be here with you. Thank you for joining. I am here daily, or I do my best to be here daily to answer your questions when it comes to herpes. So if you're just tuning in and you're like, dude, what is this girl talking about? Herpes? Like, why would I want to know? Why would I want to be here? Well, the reason why is herpes is extremely common, and whether we know we have herpes or we don't know we have herpes, and maybe we don't have herpes, we absolutely do know somebody that has herpes. And that somebody is somebody that we are going to be very close to because the statistics are so high that there's that many people that have herpes. So there is somebody in your life that you have in your life that has it, and so it's important to understand it. If somebody comes to you and is like, oh my gosh, I was just diagnosed with genital herpes, OMG, what am I going to do? You would want to send them here. Send them to this Life with Herpes platform, community, all that, so that we can educate them and create a community for them. If you yourself have herpes, you're in the right spot. I just hit myself. You're in the right spot. I have been diagnosed with, I am diagnosed with herpes. I was diagnosed with oral HSV1 in 2001 and genital HSV2 in 2011. Wait, did I say that right? Genital HSV1 in 2003. Is that what I said? That's the correct date. I may have said 2001. That's the year I graduated college. So that one's also, or high school. That one's also in my mind. Apparently it's been a long day because I'm getting my times and everything mixed up. Anyway, so I've had herpes for a long time. Expire date, do you take for your first outbreak? How long from expire did you take for your first outbreak? So I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but the typical incubation period of an outbreak is 2 to 12 days. So within 2 weeks, you should typically get your first outbreak if you've come in contact with it. Now that's the majority, that's in general. The weird thing or the annoying thing or the frustrating thing about herpes is you could be diagnosed with herpes and then have your first outbreak, or not diagnosed, but have it enter your system, come in contact with it, and then have your first outbreak months, years, decades later. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they're like, I'm married, I've been in a monogamous relationship for the last 10 years, 15 years, and now I just got it. So yeah, for exposure, so how long does it take for exposure? No worries. I was like, expire? I was like, maybe English isn't your first language. So I was trying to go with what expire meant. Exposure. Yeah. So after exposure, it's usually 2 weeks, within the first 2 weeks. But like I was just saying, for some people, they can contract herpes and it can be dormant in their system and it won't show up until weeks, months, years, decades later. I was talking to a woman who was in her 80s. Her husband had been deceased for 15 years. I don't know about her prior relationship prior to being married, but she had been married. She had been monogamous, and all of a sudden in her 80s, she had her first outbreak. So she was like, WTF. I mean, she literally wasn't saying WTF because she's in her 80s, but she was like, WTF. This is humiliating. How am I getting herpes? I've been celibate for 15 years and I was monogamous. So again, that's a perfect example of how it can lay dormant. Everyone does not experience outbreaks. You're right. So that is actually why herpes is so common, and that's also why there's such a huge stigma. If everybody went out and got tested, they would come back with results. Most people would come back with results of having herpes. So most people don't actually have symptoms or don't get outbreaks, or if they do, they're extremely mild and far and few between. They can be misconstrued for something else. An outbreak can look like a paper cut. So you may get like a little paper cut and think like, oh, I just nicked myself shaving. It's been 12 years for you. Yeah, that's a long time. That's longer than me for HSV2. I've had it only for 11 years. What are the first symptoms? So I'm assuming you're asking me this because you may have just hooked up with someone that has it, or you're wondering if you have it. The symptoms can be different for everybody. I know that doesn't help. And thanks for the hearts, guys. I appreciate all the little hearts. The symptoms are typically flu-like symptoms. It can be swollen lymph nodes. It can be like fatigue. It can just be that overall run down feeling. Some people might have a fever. Then of course we get into like inflammation type feeling in the groin or in the mouth if you have oral herpes. Then we're gonna get into actual blisters, maybe itchy, tingly, and then blisters. Blisters can be one blister, it can be a cluster of blisters, or it can be a paper cut-like thing. So it can look different for everybody. Typically, if you're experiencing these sensations, it means that you're most likely getting a herpes outbreak, and I'd recommend getting diagnosed or seeing a medical professional ASAP. My favorite way is if you go to Herp Alert. I love Herp Alert. They're a telehealth company. They're an online company. You can meet with a doctor virtually same day, and I just think that that is like the best thing, the coolest thing ever. So if you haven't been diagnosed and have medical questions, go to herpalert.com, use the promo code LifeWithHerpes. I can't remember what the discount is, but you do get a discount and you get special treatment because we're like this. All right. Have I taken acyclovir? I have not personally taken acyclovir. I've taken valacyclovir, and you know, like with the avir, like the acyclovir, valacyclovir, the avir part, like the ending part is similar, so they are similar. I've talked to people that have taken Valtrex or valacyclovir and they're like, hey, it wasn't working, so they switched to acyclovir. As far as which one works for you, try it out, talk to your doctor. And the reason why you'd be prescribed one or the other potentially is your doctor's relationship with the pharmaceutical company. It can be your insurance. It can be just based on your particular symptoms. Do you think herpes causes other long-term illnesses? You know, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know enough about it as far as like really what does a virus do in our body. Like I just know like they're fighter T cells and virus lives in our body for the rest of our life. You know, that type of like really overview of what viruses do. As far as any long-term other illnesses, you know, the majority of the population has herpes, so whether it does or doesn't, we can't really worry about it. I do know that herpes exists in all living vertebrates, so people and animals, and it just is what it is. It's part of it. So I wouldn't necessarily let that concern you because you can't fix it. One of the things I actually like to worry, like I like to be a worrier, and luckily my husband calls me out on it a lot. He's like, don't worry. And I'm like, but I want to worry. I want to worry about this. It's comfortable. My body is comfortable in a state of worry. Like that's the old shoe that fits. And we all know that worrying's not good. Worrying causes stress. It causes wrinkles, causes gray hair. It does all sorts of bad things for us. Worrying also can cause herpes outbreaks. But as far as worrying, I've learned to not worry about things that I can't control. Like I can't control if it's going to be sunny tomorrow, you know? So as far as this, I wouldn't let it concern you. Long term, just keep living the best life that you know. So doing the things for your life is living in the lifestyle that you feel is going to be the best for you and your health. I love that you're spreading awareness about this and making many feel normal. Absolutely. It's about not feeling punished because you had sex. Like that's a normal part of life. That's absolutely normal. And I don't know why we try to, it's unfortunate that sex is just so taboo. And it shouldn't be. It's a part of life, right? It's how I got here. It's how you got here. We all got here because our parents had sex. It's a normal part of life. I would say it's actually not how my son got here because he was IVF. But so yeah, it's just about making it normal. So you're welcome, Tanya, or Taya. Sorry. I got a blood test results back for HSV1 3.8, HSV 0.90. Okay, so I definitely talk to your medical provider or your doctor about what these results mean. I can't diagnose you, but typically if your result is over 1, it means that you are positive for herpes. So based on this, I would assume, I would guess that you are HSV1 positive, but definitely go back and have your doctor confirm that for you. I am not qualified to do that. You get rejected constantly by men. Okay, so let's talk about your way of disclosing for a little bit. I was just on a podcast today. I was talking about the importance of setting boundaries for yourself prior to even beginning this disclosure. So something I want all of us to ask ourselves if we're going out, we're dating, we've just been diagnosed with herpes, is what feels comfortable to you? What are your boundaries? Is it, are you going to be in a monogamous relationship? Are you not going to be in a monogamous? Is it an open relationship? Is it casual? Is it dating? What expectations do you have of your partner? Do you want your partner to get tested? Do you not want your partner to get tested? Do you want to go get tested? Like, so what are your expectations prior to going into this? Is it something just, hey, it's going to be super casual. I don't really care if you get tested or not. Let's just go. It's like, I'm DTF. Like, let's just go. Or is it, no, my expectations for my sexual health are, I want my partner or partners to get tested. I want you to communicate if you are with somebody else. Like, what are your, so first of all, for all of us, figure that out. Then when we have our conversations, you can be aware of potentially maybe why the rejection is happening. You may be disclosing to someone and saying like, hey, I want us to go get tested. And the person may be like, dude, I'm not going to get tested. Why would you want me to get tested? That might be a red flag to you and say, well, it's important to me that you get tested because a lot of STIs could be dormant and I already have one and I don't want another one. Like, again, figure out what works for you. Rejection happens for 3 reasons. Number 1, the person just isn't sexually mature, like talking about sex or the idea, anything other than like, just it's like silly to them, or they're just not mature in having the conversation. They may be very closed-minded about sex. It's a very taboo topic for them, potentially. Or number 2, the person is absolutely concrete, married, like never going to change their viewpoint. They're married to a concept of STDs are bad or herpes is bad. I will never get that. Period. The end. Okay, so that would be a second reason. And the third reason why rejection happens is they're not into you. So that one is the one clearly that hurts the most. But we have to realize if this person we were just talking about it in our secret society, our community, someone just had this happen and one of the members said, hey, okay, so this guy's out. Good to know now, right? Good to know now before we got too invested in him. I like how we say we, like we're all dating him, but it's good to know now. What if something more tragic happened? What if you were diagnosed with cancer? Would he be pieced out and be like, I don't want to deal with your cancer, right? So it's okay. Rejection's okay. I know it hurts, but figure out, are we looking for a long-term relationship? Are we looking for a casual one-night stand type of thing? If it's casual one-night stand, just have the facts and go for it. If we're looking more for a longer-term relationship, set our expectations and go from there. Okay, I was really long. I hope that helped. I have a toolkit, back to the tell your partner. I have a toolkit I put together. What I love about it is I was 9 months pregnant when I recorded all of the videos. So I like watching them. Anyways, so don't mind me being out of breath in those videos. Anyways, it's a toolkit. It has like 16 different videos walking you through disclosing to past partners, future partners, one-night stands, long-term relationships. What is it that you want? I go really far into detail in what I just talked about. Check it out. I have it for you up there. Why don't doctors test for it, but they test for other STDs? 1 out of 6 of the population has it. I don't know why. Because couple reasons. I just posted on this. I don't know where I posted on it, but I just posted on it. A couple reasons. The medical community doesn't look at herpes as a big deal. It's not a big deal medically. It doesn't cause a life-threatening illness. It doesn't have the only aftermath or trickle effect of being diagnosed with herpes is the mental. The mental aftermath is really what gets people. So if a doctor doesn't need to deal with that, a doctor's not going to deal with it. Most people have it, so most people just most people have it. So they're like, they're going to come across it anyways, or it's going to work its way out somehow. So that's why it is frustrating that they don't test, because if we are trying to be responsibly sexually active adults and we do get tested and our partner is getting tested and our test backs come back negative for other things, we assume that herpes was included and it wasn't. What are things I can change in a diet, exercise, lifestyle to prevent outbreaks in the future? So number one, we've been talking about is stress, worry. That's a big one. For me personally, it is sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. The more sleep I get, the better my immune system is, the stronger I am, the more I'm able to exercise, the more I'm able to eat healthy. When I'm tired, I can feel my body running down. So for you, I'd recommend, well, anybody, exercise is always a good thing, right? Like we can't exercise. We all know exercise is good. Living a sedentary lifestyle is not good. I would say eating clean foods, meaning not processed, things that grow, that are naturally grown, things that are not, there's no processed foods in them. Foods specifically that are high in arginine are going to potentially trigger herpes outbreaks. Arginine foods are chocolate, nuts, peanuts, coconut, meat, and milk. Anything that's processed can kind of break down in our body and make it harder for us to digest. So I'd recommend staying away from those types of foods and eating, clean foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, things like that. Okay, do you take lysine? If yes, did it help you? I do. I take lysine daily. This is the lysine I take. I take the one from Palmera Health, which is Natural Cure Labs. I do have it for you if you would like to order it. Yes, it does help. I didn't know about this so I was diagnosed with herpes in 2011, and I didn't know about this until 2016. And it made a huge difference. I did not take it when I was pregnant and up until my child would turn 2. Because I was breastfeeding, so I didn't take it for about 2 years, and I missed it, so I take it now. What lysine is, it's a protein. So it's a protein that is important. It's an essential amino acid. It's important for our building blocks of our body. It's important for building our muscles. It's important for repairing our tendons. It's important for our body to help us metabolize other nutrient and minerals. Anyways, lysine, the herpes virus hates this protein. It helps block the replication of it. The herpes virus wants to replicate it, wants to have outbreaks. So that's the way it procreates, right? So this blocks the arginine that would essentially cause replication of the herpes virus. So yes, I take this daily, and there are lots of articles you can research on it if you would like, but it's a really helpful one. And like I said, I do have it for you. It's linked for you if you want to check it out. Just scrolled this live. What are we talking about? Herpes. We're talking about taboo topics. We're talking about sex. We're talking about what it's like to live with herpes when 2 out of 3 people have HSV1 and 1 out of 6 have HSV2. So hope you're enjoying it. Are we talking about prodromes? We can. So prodromes are like the precursor or symptoms of getting a herpes outbreak. It can be a tinkle. It can be an itch. It can be fatigue. It can be nerve pain. It can be like a pulse of like a nerve pulse. So that can kind of be a precursor to us who have herpes and have outbreaks to know that we're getting an outbreak. Thank you. You're welcome. You had developed optic neuritis with your onset of symptoms. I don't know what that is. I hear the word optic. I think eyes, but I don't know what that is. Hi, beautiful. Hi there. Thank you for calling me beautiful. Hey, HSV positive fam. Hey guys, one big group hug. You developed HSV because your partner cheated on you. You're still having a hard time coping. So there's a lot of betrayal attached with our herpes diagnosis, whether that betrayal is, in your case, your partner cheated on you, whether it's a partner lied to you, whether it is you felt betrayed in the medical system of not being tested, whether you feel betrayed in the sexual health of not knowing what this is. There's a lot of betrayal associated with this. Use this as an opportunity to work through the betrayal and understand really what are you feeling betrayed about? Is it really that you got herpes, or is there something deeper? What should only be for special moments? They are main ones distributing because they aren't the honest one. I don't know what that means. If your own status, okay, if you own your status and disclose with confidence, potential partners are accepting and don't care. Absolutely. I would definitely, confidence has a lot to do with it, and education, making sure you educate your partner. Hey dear, hi there. Once you get it, you got it. Get tested. Absolutely. Once you have it for life. When you get married, the woman does cleaning. Is that the rules? She don't think that the rules. Yeah, I think that is not, you're probably in the wrong chat, the wrong group here, the wrong live. And I think that house chores and things should be distributed between both partners. How long should you wait to get tested? I would get tested as soon as possible before you're going to date somebody. And if you're waiting on results, like if you've come in contact with it, or if you feel like maybe your partner has it or things like that, I would wait probably like 6 weeks. It can take your body that amount of time for you to get the antibodies. What we're testing you for is the antibodies in our blood. Herpes doesn't live in our blood. We're looking for the antibodies. You know someone who got it from a spouse. Yeah, we can get it from our spouse. We can get it from really anybody. It's not, and our spouse could have had oral herpes and gotten it as a kid, and there was nothing like taboo or like, oh, I know why you got herpes. You know, like a spouse could have gotten a cold sore, aka oral herpes, aka HSV1, from a relative kissing them as a kid, and then that person can give it to somebody by doing things with their mouth down there and pass it to their partner's genitals. Nothing, quote unquote, as we like to call, wrong. You suffer from canker sores in your inner cheek, got tested, and it came back negative. Yeah, so typically if it's inside our mouth, it's negative. It's not herpes, it's a canker sore. I get canker sores too. I get them actually like on my gum behind my molar. Am I into younger guys? I'm actually into older men. My husband's 20 years older than I, and so yeah. But thank you for saying hi. Canker sores are not the same as cold sores, correct. Canker sores are most likely hereditary. We don't know that much about them, but they're most likely hereditary. They can be drawn out from types of foods or stress, but they are not herpes. Doctor said it can be allergies from certain toothpaste. Yeah, it can be certain toothpaste. It can also be like if you're on certain medications, it can maybe dry out your mouth, all that. You don't get cold sores on your lips. Where do you get them? Where do you get your cold sores? Hi, pretty woman. Thanks, Robert. You're pretty. Thank you. Does lysine prevent outbreaks? It helps prevent outbreaks. So I can't say it prevents outbreaks, right? Because I just can't say that. It helps prevent outbreaks because it helps prevent the replication of the virus. When the virus isn't replicating, we're not getting outbreaks. So when it's not replicating, it's more or less dormant in our body. And this is the one I love. How long after exposure did you get your first outbreak for HSV? I started sleeping with the guy that I was dating Memorial Day weekend, and I ended up with herpes the weekend before 4th of July. So I don't know, is that like 5 weeks? And who knows when I got it, right? I could have gotten it like that weekend. I could have gotten it the weekend before. Who knows, right? Hey, I have a beautiful variety of lip gloss and lashes if you're ever looking. Thank you. DM me. I would love to see about that. Where is the research at with finding a cure? Do you think there'll be one soon? There are a lot of people that are really, like there's a lot of other people talking about herpes that are talking about research about getting a cure. I personally am not that, I don't follow it that closely because I believe that we shouldn't wait for a cure. Yes, the information's great. Will there be a vaccine or some sort of way to keep it undetectable in our bodies? I believe so. When is that? Could it be next week? Yeah. Could it be 10 years from now? Yeah. I don't want us to wait and waste our time. At the end of the day, we have this and we need to learn to live with it. So I did hear there are some trials going on in the UK, I believe, or somewhere in Europe. that does have some things going on. Can you take lysine with Valtrex? Yes. So Valtrex is a drug. It's an antiviral. It's a prescribed drug. And lysine is, it's a protein. So this is a supplement, basically to supplement our diet, where the antiviral is a drug. Is that for prevention? It is. It helps prevent outbreaks, and it also helps speed up the recovery if you have an outbreak. You mentioned that coconut is high in arginine, but you've also coconut is a good source of lactic acid, which is lauric acid. Lauric acid is monolaurin. Great, great, great. So coconut milk and coconut meat is high in arginine. Meanwhile, lauric acid comes from the oil, comes from coconut oil, and coconut oil and milk is not high in arginine, it's high in lysine. So great question. I have been getting that a lot. Those of you like, what is lauric acid? This is AKA monolaurin. Lauric acid has the ability to help break down enveloped viruses, help disrupt that outer layer of an enveloped virus. And when that outer layer is disrupted, our immune system can go in and penetrate the virus and basically kick its ass. So thanks for that segue. From the same company I get my lysine, they do have monolaurin. This one particularly is extra strength monolaurin, and this is an 800 milligram monolaurin opposed to the 600 milligram monolaurin that is typically the regular. It's on promo right now, so they're offering 15% off. I do have all the information for you in my bio, and you can order it for 15% off, which is awesome. This was on back order for 6 months. So this plus this together is really beneficial in dealing with herpes outbreaks. It really helps boost our immune system and helps the herpes virus. It's a perfect cocktail to prevent outbreaks. Have I tried monolaurin? I'm obsessed with monolaurin. Yes, I love it. Can you get HSV1 from silverware in restaurants? It's really hard. Most likely no. I'm going to use my example as I always do. I should be sponsored by Pellegrino, by the way, so if anyone knows Pellegrino, I always have a Pellegrino in every bottle. Let's say I have an outbreak right now. Let's say I did, and I had a big old outbreak, and let's say I take a sip and then give it to somebody that doesn't have herpes like my husband and is like, hey, you want a sip? That here to here to here within a matter of minutes, seconds, could potentially transmit the virus. The virus is transmitted skin to skin, so it's skin to skin, right? Getting it from restaurant, I think that's gonna be pretty hard. Could you get it from silverware, like sharing? Yeah, but most likely it will have been washed, and if it hasn't been washed, which is gross, but if it hasn't been washed, it would have been too long for the virus to survive, if that makes sense. Is there, yeah, I think that helps. How did your husband not get it? My husband doesn't have it. I definitely am careful. I've had herpes for a long time. The longer you've had herpes, the less likely you are to have viral shedding. So he hasn't gotten it. Aches in your legs. Yeah, that is something that happens with Prodrome. After I shave, I ended up getting an outbreak. I felt like I cut the first and then it turned into blisters. That can happen I've talked to some women that have that. If that's the case and shaving causes it, try waxing. If waxing causes outbreaks, try shaving. Also, I'm a huge fan of laser. Get laser hair. Like I lasered everything in my entire body, basically. That's amazing. Can you speak on lauric acid in coconut oil? So yeah, I don't know how much coconut oil, I think it's a couple cups of coconut oil you'd have to take in order to get the same amount from taking a supplement, which is a lot. You don't want to take that much coconut oil. But lauric acid, basically what it is, it's found in 3 ways, aka monolaurin. Lauric acid is found in human breast milk. It's found in coconuts and palm, like hearts of palm, like palm oil. And basically what it is they were realizing, how is it that babies are surviving all over the world and they're not getting sick? They're not, having these like atrocious illnesses. It's because of lauric acid. Basically it fights, it's an antibacterial, so it fights other bacterial infections in your body. It is antimicrobial, and it's also something that helps fight enveloped viruses in our body. So when we have viruses that are enveloped, aka the HSV herpes virus, our immune system can't penetrate because it has this outer shell around it. So what we want to do is disrupt, melt, clean, crack open, whatever word you want to use to describe that, the virus, so that the our immune system can go in and penetrate it. Hugs to you too. Most people don't even know they have it. When I found out, my partner blamed me. He had it before. Yeah, most people don't know how they have herpes. I didn't say fluoric acid. I said Lauric. Louric. When I was diagnosed, I asked my doctor about supplements, and she said there are none. That's frustrating. There definitely are supplements that can help. So thanks for being so brave. You're welcome. Is there a way to protect my kids from getting it? From getting it genitally from you? I mean, if they're probably not going to come into contact with your genitals. Are you talking like in general in life? No, you can't really protect people from getting it in life. Obviously, you know if you have an outbreak and you can prevent coming into skin-to-skin contact, but a lot of people can't prevent that. How do you control herpes during menopause? I don't know. I am not there yet. I don't know. Herpes is hormonal. Outbreaks can be hormonal, so potentially monitoring those hormones, I don't know. All right, I feel like I've answered most questions, so let me just go through. It seems strange that they now have a prescription to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS, but not for HSV. Yeah, it is. It does seem frustrating about that. From what I've heard from talking to people who are viral experts, it actually is, the herpes virus is difficult to create a vaccine because it's different in everybody. They can't just like pinpoint what it does in everybody's body. Yes, you can test positive for HSV1 and HSV2 and never have an outbreak. All right, guys, I'm gonna go, why are women more likely to get it? I think it's just our anatomy, and we definitely are more exposed when we are intimate, as well as we shave and wax, in my case laser, our area down there, and the hair is a barrier, it's a protectant. It's there for a reason, where men typically don't, so we also are a little more exposed. All right, guys, I feel like I've answered most of your questions. You said how many milligrams of lysine? I would follow what's on here. I'd follow the recommended dosage. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will keep going live. I love all the hearts. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there a dosage of lauric acid that I take? I have all that information for you on the website. If you go to my link, you'll see some things on Monolaurin. If you go there, there's information on dosage and things like that. Also, there's a promo code for you to use to get an awesome discount. All right, I appreciate you, so thank you for being here. I will see you soon in the next video, the next live, hopefully tomorrow, and I just appreciate you all. Thanks so much.